My name is Patrick Njobvu. I'm a senior safari guide for Shenton Safaris, and I've been guiding for 20 years, but working for the company for 24 years. During my career, I've seen lots of different things, really interesting, and I love the bush so much because every day is different. It has been fantastic, and it has been really good because the game is phenomenal around here, and what is happening is really incredible. And I don't think of stopping. I don't know what will actually stop me from guiding because I love it. I love to be out in the field, and it has been really good. A few years ago, I came across a pride of lions, and this was the Kapanda pride, which killed a buffalo on Lion Plain, and they actually brought in their cubs, and they were happy. All of them are very happy feeding on that buffalo because some of the cubs actually were very young, and it was their first time to have quite a big meal. So they were there for a couple of days, but the third day in the morning, another pride actually pitched up, and that was the Kaingo pride, the strongest pride in the area, and chased that pride, and they fled. But unfortunately, there was two young cubs which couldn't actually manage to run. So the pride actually managed to chase the other pride away, but the alpha female came back and came for the cubs. The interesting thing was the cubs they knew what was going to happen, so they tried to defend themselves. They were rolling on their backs, trying to defend themselves, and this alpha female just came and just bit one of them. And we were really sad because we knew what was going to happen to that cub. And she took it behind the bush and killed it, left it there, came back for the second one. The second one did the same thing, tried to defend itself, but failed, and this older female just came and grabbed it, took it around the bush, killed it. But the most weird thing was, instead of just I've seen lions killing cubs quite often, but not feeding on them. The interesting thing was she actually sat there and started feeding on one of the dead cubs. So the other female also started feeding on the other cub. So they were both feeding, and the rest of the pride, there were almost more than 10 lions there, and they were just watching the other two lions feeding on the cubs. It was very strange. But a few minutes later, the mother of the two cubs came. She was very submissive, and they all circled her, sniffed her. She didn't do anything. She was watching these lions feeding on her cubs, and she just sat there. She was very sad, and they fed on the cubs and finished. And after finishing, they all started walking away, and she followed them. So she followed them, for 2 days. She was away from her own pride. Then a few days later, she came back and rejoined the other pride, which was very strange. But it was that pride had almost 7 cubs in total. So 5 actually escaped, but it was almost a week later, quite close to the bush camp, Mwamba bush camp. That pride killed another buffalo. So they were there, and I'm sure the Mwamba pride this time wasn't very far from where they killed the second buffalo. And overnight, I think they came, and we just came across this pride feeding on a buffalo, but there were several cubs dead from the other pride, the Kapanda pride. So they killed almost 6 cubs out of 7. So out of 7, only 1 survived, and that was a female which actually survived, and she's still there. Now she's a grown-up girl, and we call her Chimozi, meaning that the only surviving lion or the only surviving cub from the whole pride, from the cubs. So from that time, that pride decided to stay away from the area, from the Kaingo pride area, and they're further inland this time. Last year we only saw them twice, and this year they've been seen, by my other fellow guides once so far. So we reckon maybe by September, October, they might actually get back in the area. But that pride is getting stronger because they've got their own males, and the cubs have grown up, and they're doing very well.